So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Well, the Chapman Cup Series is going to narrow it down to just 12 drivers this week. And at the last great Coliseum from Tennessee, it's the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series live on V-Speed. Ginormous logo there tonight as we are emphasizing how important this race is. It's a win in your in system, and these drivers have been bringing their A game. You've got names like Trevor Keith, Carter Lenz, a lot of drivers that have been on the edge of the bubble all season long, and the dominant performance of the top five all the way through. You've got drivers last week that have gotten their first wins in the playoff, and Travis Gilbert putting it all together. We got to talk to him. Now it's the excitement of short track racing. How difficult is it here, Alex, cycling through in the All About Bugs 250?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the most difficult tracks to race at in this service. It's so tight. The speeds are so high for how short of a racetrack it is. It's going to be a battle out there tonight. Should be a ton of fun, though.
Of course, you're seeing right there the last great Coliseum. Now, let's take a look here at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's a racetrack that really needs no introduction, but at one point there was dirt on this half-mile oval. It's the world's fastest half-mile oval as well. But if you take a look here, opened July 30th, 1960. It's remained a concrete oval since its inception. Just over half a mile, 30 degrees of banking. That's some of the steepest banking you'll ever find on a NASCAR course. It rivals that of Talladega at 33, and over at Daytona, that's just under 31 degrees. So this racetrack, very steep. It's been compared to a gymnasium with cars in it, and I like to compare it to throwing shoes in the dryer, because that's really what these drivers are going to feel like after they beat and bang race door to door for the entirety of this race. And race analysis coming up on your screen. We cycle through Bristol Motor Speedway. 250 laps here tonight. Pit road speed limit should be a calm 30 miles per hour, but it's going to be one of those front stretch, back stretch, and knowing where you are on the track, you can get a black flag for entering the wrong pit at the wrong time. And you got to know where that pit box is, because for some drivers that maybe started near the middle of the pack, they'll have a very short entrance to pit road. So we've seen a lot of drivers struggle with that in the past as well. And of course, on the iRacing Fix setup. With that, though, it's time to take you to your Coastal Financial Pole Award. And starting on the top spot here tonight, it's going to be the number 89 of Michael Call. 14.766, and actually it's Carter Lenz. Michael Call was on my call sheets. Apparently my timing and scoring is confused here, so it's actually Carter Lenz with a 14.766. Rob Rader starting his outside in second position. Row number 2 is going to belong to Jeremy Burns, and there's Michael Call in the 4th position. Row number 3 on back to 5th spot with Tyler Harris and Travis Gilbert starting in 6th. 7th goes to Trevor Keith, Dakota Floyd in 8th, and then rounding out your top 10, it's going to be Jacob Sirkovich and Nick Alves.
Looking back beyond that, row number 6, Brandon Richardson back tonight alongside Justin Ritchie. Justice Murphy rolls off 13th. Michael Bennett in the 14th position. Matt Robinson rolling off in row 8 alongside Kevin Orlando Jr. Daniel Holloway, 17th. Kyle Stewart, 18th. Your top 20 tonight, Michael Reed, Kyle Diaz.
21st spot, Christopher Schaefer. Dylan Picklesheimer will start 22nd. Then 23rd, and Caleb Gilbert electing not to take a time. Alex Forget Berube will start in 24th position. And that should do it with Joe Joya electing not to grid. Actually, he did come out on the track, so Joe Joya in the 7 will start at the end of this field. Bristol Motor Speedway, Carter Lenz on the top spot. If you notice, we're having some technical issues with the paint schemes, but we will get that sorted out for you as soon as possible. Some of these cars on a more generic note, but we do have the telemetry. We have the pace car out of the way, and green flag is out. We're ready to go with Lenz into turn 1.
Laps are quick here at Bristol. Only about 15 seconds to get around this place. They'll start ticking them off in a hurry. In a hurry to get going on the early couple of laps. It is the pole sitter, Carter Lenz, the Coastal Financial Pole Award winner. Starting to pull out a little bit of a gap here over Rob Rader. Got a good launch and is really starting to get some distance.
You can see him jump out there. Just a half a second there at one point, but now Rob Rader starting to pull back up to him. You're watching this field start to single file out already in the top 10 with Justin Ritchie, the first side-by-side for the 11th position. He's going by Dakota Floyd on the outside in the 55. And you look through the rest of this field, it's going to be, quick battles. You're not going to pick apart the field 3 or 4 positions at a time. As you see Rob Rader already attacking for the lead on this 66 of Lenz as they go all the way down the racetrack. Not a lot of room there. Lenz gets washed up across the line there. I think Rob Rader had it. He's going to get the nose out of 1 and 2.
Yeah, right now Rader's got the advantage. Just a matter of if he can clear. Looks like he's going to do so that time by. And now as we make our way on to lap 7, Rob Rader to the point here at Bristol. Both of these guys looking for that win to punch their ticket to the round of 12. Travis Gilbert won the first 2 races of this round of the playoffs, so really important for the folks who came into tonight below that cut line, trying to get up and over that gap to move on to the round of 12 after tonight.
Travis Gilbert locked in, currently running in the 4th position, and Michael Call just behind Lenz as we're riding on board with the 66. Jeremy Burns, the fan favorite. A little off last week, and a lot of problems there for the 9, and you might not recognize, but that is the Metroplex number 9. We'll try to get that fixed for you as soon as possible. But the caution comes down, and it's Christopher Schaefer around. He's tied up with Alex Forget in the 19. The podium finish that we just had with the 19 a moment ago, just a week ago. Caution on lap 10.
And we'll see if we can bring up the replay here. Take a look at what happened to the driver of the 23. Not the, maybe not the smoothest way to go about it, but certainly a way to do it here tonight.
We'll get you taught.
Yeah, this is, for anyone who may be wondering, this is my first go-around at production here tonight due to circumstances. But taking a look here at the 23 of Christopher Schaefer, the 19 of Alex Forget's to his outside, and it looks like they get tangled up off of 4, and then that just carries all the way down the front straightaway, Bradley.
Pretty minor damage there to the 23. And this track, not as aero dependent. I mean, you respectively could get damage like that just tagging the outside wall. We're going to see that a lot here tonight. You saw that battle for the lead between Rob Rader and Carter Lenz. That very well could have led to a car making contact with the outside wall. And that's where a lot of our incidents are going to happen, is a guy's going to get pinned up on the outside. The guy on the bottom's not going to give an inch, and they're going to run out of racetrack. You'll see it a lot, time and time again. But that's why they call it short track racing. You have to bully your way around somebody. There's not a lot of room to work with.
No, there's really not. And, as far as things we also might see a lot of here tonight, it seems like the scenic cam likes to default to below the bleachers. So not entirely sure how often we'll see that tonight. The goal is to see it as little as possible. But, as far as the opening couple laps are concerned, I'm sure there's very few cars in the field who are happier than that man right there. That is the 53 of Rob Rader, who is now jumped up and taken the lead here in the early going. Let's see, where am I looking for on the...
You go back to last week there, Alex, where the 53 of Rob Rader won stage 1. So, I mean, just look at Gateway and how that went, and then the race fell apart. I mean, we had a pretty much caution-free run all the way up to lap 60, and he claims his stage, and you think, well, the 53 is a dominant car. Well, things happened. People got shuffled around. The strategy changed, and he got kind of cut out of the picture there at the tail end of the race and ends up getting sent to the inside wall. So, hopefully that's not the repeat here, because Rob Rader, he needs a win.
Yeah, he certainly does. And, it's been a tough season for the reigning champ, but maybe tonight's the night to put that all behind him. It's still a long way to go at Bristol, though, as the pace car going to peel off this time by green flags back in the air. And we are racing once again at Bristol.
Rader to a great jump. Here comes Michael Call for the second spot off of turn 2, and there's Travis Gilbert lurking behind. 45 of Tyler Harrison, the Mr. Detail 45. I know a little bit off on the paint scheme here tonight, but he's in that all pink and black machine racing to the outside of Jeremy Burns off of turn 4.
Yeah, a little side-by-side action just behind him as we take a look at that battle. A little 2x2 as the cars are trying to find their way around at the moment. Easier said than done, though. Gilbert looking to the outside of Michael Call just in front of him. A little 2x2 deeper in the field as well. That is Nick Alves to the inside of Justin Ritchie here in the middle of the pack.
Contact with the wall there for Ritchie as we were looking back at that. A lot of action throughout this field, but this kind of racing, you want to pace yourself. 250 laps, that's a long time, and that's 500 opportunities to make a mistake off the exits of these corners.
Yeah, and that is, that sounds daunting. And in the early couple of laps, they go by so fast, you don't really think about it. But when you start getting 100, 150 laps in, you've already gone around this place, 300 some corners. That is where you really start to see the effects of that. You really have to stay focused as a driver, stay conscious, and really keep battling out there, because it's so easy to kind of have a mental lapse when you run this many laps. You basically just feel like you're turning left the entire time before you know it. That's all she wrote.
Watching there with the 24, I do believe. It's a little surreal for me to try to keep up with your feed and see some of the paint schemes not matching up. So that was the 24 just in the background there with the Monster Energy. But now looking at Trevor Keith running in 9th position. Trevor Keith are down, rather, 4 positions now. Well, I was labeling as 4, but it looks like your side of things says he qualifies in 7th. My side of things is saying he qualified in 5th. So I don't know which one's correct. I guess it would have to be you. You were in the session long before I was. Trevor Keith, though, trying to work his way around. That's the 27 of Kevin Orlando in front of him. And the 8 of Brandon Richardson, having a top 10 day so far. All over the back bumper of Keith. He'll get to the outside. Almost some contact there. And they'll cycle through for lap 24.
We'll take a look here a little deeper in the field. Another one of our playoff drivers. That's Matt Robinson in the 11 machine. Back in 14th here. He's up a spot. I'm trying to keep an eye on Justin Ritchie. Michael Reed in front of him as well. This field already pretty strung out, single file, and this is that point of the race where you just start trying to log laps, get a sense, get a feeling for the racetrack, and see what's going on, seeing what you can do. We'll throw the weather up here as well. It's a bit of a cold track here tonight, and it's only going to get colder as the lights go on. The sun's been gone for quite some time. Bennett got tagged there by Reed. He's trying to save it down into the wall. Are we going to stay green? I think we are. Big moment there with the 14 and the 91, though.
Close call for Michael Reed. The 41 falling out. Well, I think that might be a misread there on the number, but the 14, rather, of Michael Bennett. And he's going to fall all the way back to 23rd position. He'll be the last car on the lead lap. Rob Rader is just now coming out of turn 4, catching up to him fast.
Yeah, there he is, and to get a sense of what that distance looks like, we'll see if we can see him from here. He's got that bit of an advantage over Carter Linz and the winner of the past 2 races there. That's Travis Gilbert. And now he still has about a corner to chase down Michael Bennett, but right now everything looking pretty good for the race leader, Rob Rader, up to 25 laps led and cruising as they go.
Stage at lap 63. Still some battling going on back here in 14th. Dakota Floyd side by side with Justice Murphy. That's for the 12th spot, the number 12 and the number 57. And yeah, I can confirm the problem here, so I'll try to get that sorted out with you there, Alex, as soon as we get done with this first stage. Hopefully we can run it out green to the end. Not hoping for a caution. I would love to see the strategy with some of these drivers as we have another pass for position. Michael Collin, Jeremy Burns going back at it. This is for 4th. Burns really tight up off the corner. Almost got into the 89. He ends up losing about a 1/10 of a second there.
Yeah, and he's got a whole lot of traffic in the mix there as well. You see Michael Call has that spot right now. He's running in this 4th position. But you look just behind them to Jeremy Burns, Tyler Harrison, Kevin Orlando. Then you got Sirkovich and Trevor Keith dueling just behind them as well. That whole group got sacked. Oh, Keith's
15
around.
got turned. Keith Hart into the inside wall. Cautions out at lap 35. Sirkovich came right up into him.
We'll hit the replay. Or would help if I actually went to the replay scene. There we go.
There we go. Hey.
We're learning up here in the old V-Speed.
All you have to do is click
tonight.
replay again, and it'll take you back 10 seconds. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Just let that one stew. Yeah. You're going to see the battle here. Sirkovich gets loose off the corner right here. It sets him up, gets the 15 to the outside, but it's right here coming off of this corner. Sirkovich just pushes up the racetrack right into the left rear. And then actually, I think that was the 8 behind him.
Yeah, that was
Richardson.
The 8 of Richardson. We'll take one more look at his bit of this. Gets tags the back of Sirkovich there. And that's another driver who's in a must-win scenario here tonight to try to make the round of 12. And that's certainly not the way he wants to go about it.
Well, we got some kinks to work out. We got some technical issues. We're going to get all this ironed out. You are watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. Last race of the round of 16 at Bristol. Roll that beautiful B-roll as we'll be back here on V-Speed.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Welcome back to our coverage here on V-Speed. You got to look at the new UI. We're still working out some of those kinks, but I think for the most part, we have the paint schemes fixed. We got that good. Got our audio ironed out, and what we didn't have ironed out was that restart just now on lap 39, and it was the 21 of Daniel Holloway who went around, and that was right out of the gate. We didn't even make it to the start-finish line. The 21, I think, had some contact behind him, got sent around, but yeah, it was a quick one.
Yeah, it was. They hadn't even gotten into turn one yet, Bradley, before they were already spinning. So Daniel Holloway toward the back of the field will be restarting there once again. But certainly a tough situation for the 21 as he's looking to get down on pit road here, I think, as he's not the only one. Trevor Keith also going to after his earlier bit of damage. But up front, there we go. Now we got those paint schemes cooking. And now it is Rob Rader who's still at the front of this field. He's looked pretty good so far in the early going, Bradley. I mean, granted, we said that last week for him at Gateway, but I'm sure it's an encouraging sign that the reigning champ here is starting to string together some good runs the past couple weeks here at the start of these races.
Yeah, and it shows you that he's kind of found his mojo again, but it's completing these races. That's been the Achilles heel. He's had success. He's had glimpses of the top three a lot this season, but it's just finishing it out. And always seems like his luck takes a turn for the worst when this race counts the most. You know, that final 20 to 30 lap stint, something goes wrong for Rob Rader. And Bristol's notorious for something beyond your control happening to you, especially when you have lap traffic getting involved. We've also had cars spinning on the restarts. And then again, concrete surface, it's going to chew up tires. It's a racetrack that just does that. So Rob Rader should be fine. He's an experienced, seasoned 4-time champion. It's just all of the other scenarios around him that have changed, and it's always made it harder for him. So hopefully the pace car pulling off this time. And we'll see Rob Rader as we'll have to fast forward back to a live shot here because we're actually getting back green.
And
there we go.
We are. So again, apologies to the folks at home. Still going through learning the first live broadcast here, but right now back up to where they run just off the restart. Rob Rader, Carter Lynch, Travis Gilbert leading the field away, and boy, Tyler Harrison, Kevin Orlando Jr. They're getting physical for 6th.
Yes, they were coming off that corner, and tower on the left-hand side of your screen popping up now, and you can see the changes for positions happening so quickly. It's almost as if, we flipped this top 5 several times now. 45 has been fighting to get into it and stay there. But here's the 27 who's up 18 positions. And all over the back bumper of Michael Call, driving into it, actually.
Yeah, driving through the back of the 89 there. Harrison's going to go around Call. Now Orlando's looking to do the same. trying to wheel that high side and thinks he'll take that spot away. I think he will. He's up to 5th now. The 89 going the wrong way in a hurry here. He lost out to Harrison and to Kevin Orlando, and then Nick Alves on the scene as well. He's looking to take that spot away. The stage coming up in about 13 laps here. It's a very short time, only a couple of minutes if this thing stays green. Rob Rader, though, in control out front, a half-second advantage, and then we got some good battling here in the back half of the top 10 as Nick Alves and Matt Robinson look to try to make some forward progress here. The 11 taking a look to the high side here, the 24 just maybe.
Yes, and Matt Robinson, another one of those drivers that's really turned up the heat, especially here towards the postseason, and getting that victory. He was one of the drivers that added his name right at the tail end of the regular season. He also had the 91 there that added his race was a little bit different though, because it was one of those just dominant performances. And I think for the 11, it was more of okay, this is Daytona. Anybody could get it done here, but he survived.
Yeah, he certainly did. And both wins will count for the record books the same way, but obviously the way they got it done a little bit different. And speaking of which, Michael Reed, now the car trailing Matt Robinson. We're on board there with the 91. You see as he's trying to make his way up into the picture, seeing if he can track down the 11 who's side by side with the 24 just in front of him. Let's see if they can get this sorted out here. Only a couple laps to go to the stage. Looks like Robinson's got it.
Reed's right there on the edge of the top 10. I can see where he wants another position, but the risk reward here, if he gets into the 24, it's going to throw the caution and he's going to lose out on these points. So he has to be careful. This is dangerous territory with only about 6 laps to go in stage 1. He's got to be timid through these exits to not get up into Nick Alves. Alves cuts him a little break there. I think he's going to allow no, he doesn't. He actually pushes it back there on the outside, but now Reed able to clear, and that sizes it up here for the 12 of Justice Murphy. Not in this playoff contention, but Jeremy Burns is outside the top 10, and we're running out of laps for him to get back up there. He needs to get around this 12 car.
That he certainly does. We'll take a look here at the 9, who's just behind this battle. There's the Metroplex number 9. We've come to know and love over the past several races here. Taking a peek to the inside of Justice Murphy,
wow,
who is shoving Nick Alves out of the way. Everyone fighting for those last couple of stage points here. Add Dylan Picklesheimer to the battle as well.
It's Rob Rader with a 0.6 of a second lead. Travis Gilbert looking for second position. We're not going to take our eyes off this battle, though. It is right around that 10th spot. This is all for points, and there's a lot of drivers that are not in the playoffs in front of Jeremy Burns.
Yeah, this is some big points on the line here. Justice Murphy, Dylan Picklesheimer trying to hold on to those last 2 spots in the top 10. And here comes Rob Rader, written ready to close out this stage. 1 lap to go here in this stage. And it looks like he's going to be able to smooth sail it here for a back-to-back stage victories here, Bradley.
Rob Rader off of turn 4. It's official. Stage 1 victory for the second time in the playoffs. And the 53 car looking to seal the deal. He had a massive lead of over 0.8 of a second on Carter Lenz. Cautions out. We'll display that top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen, with Rader, Lenz, Gilbert, Harrison,
Whoa!
Orlando, and big check up there.
That
Rob
almost
Rader
got
was
dicey.
waiting for the pace car, I believe.
Yeah, so he could dive right down pit road. Nearly stacked up the entire top 10 in the process. Boy, that was wild. But there is your stage winner, Rob Rader. Couldn't have drawn it up any better after qualifying second. Lenz led the opening couple laps, but it's been all 53 since.
So a tight window there with the pace car. That goes back to what I was saying earlier in the pre-race. You have to enter on the backstretch to get to pit road for the front stretch. So a lot of these guys had to check up really hard as the pace car had to work its way all the way around this half-mile oval, and Rob Rader forcibly has to be behind that pace car before he hits pit road, or he will get a black flag penalty. That was a close call there for everyone stacking up.
Looks like he is down and away. Will win that battle off of pit road against Carter Lenz. That will be our third caution of the day, although the first non-naturally occurring one. Actually, I guess it's the fourth. We did, Holloway did get caught up on the one that was the restart. It just felt like one caution because they never really got going after that one. But, you know, so far, so good. Couple of cautions, got the one lead change, and 4-time up front here.
Well, we're going to take another quick commercial break here while we rack it back up for stage number 2. You are watching the Chapman Cup Series live on V-Speed. Back with more coverage in just a moment.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization.
Back here live for stage number 2. It got going really quickly, and Rob Rader out to another fiery start ahead of Carter Lenz, Travis Gilbert, Kevin Orlando, and Tyler Harrison. And we were talking about drivers that have really turned up the heat. Tyler Harrison, another one of those guys that I would put in that list of drivers, Alex, that's really turned it up here recently. You know, he was maybe a top 10 car for most weeks, but lately he's been top 3, top 5 every single race.
Yeah, he's had a really, really good stretch of races the past week. I know last week didn't go quite the way he was looking for, but he had a ton of speed in the early part of that race, much like Rob Rader did. And the 45 has really been showing some stellar pace the past few weeks, and that's going to serve him well, you know, kind of getting hot at the right time here as we're getting into the thick of that playoff season. But Michael Reed, tell you what, the last time we went to a short track, it was Michael Reed who got the win at Richmond, and right now that 91, he's working his way toward the front. He's up from 19th to 5th.
And definitely doing a great job as well, just behind this battle. And you're watching the 9 in the backdrop. The 91 of Reed was not present last week at Gateway. Not exactly sure what the circumstances were, but that made it even more difficult for the 91. You know, when you miss a single race, now you're putting yourself in another one of those must-win situations that got you into the playoffs to begin with. So I know he probably didn't want that to happen, but whether it was connection issues or maybe, you know, real life, it just made it more difficult. And it's always unfortunate when you get into those circumstances, like we had even today here with the broadcast, just things beyond your control. And sometimes life can be in the way. So whatever it was, I'm sure Michael Reed is going to try his best to win and get in for the top 12.
Yeah, he's not the only one in that win or get in situation. Obviously, tonight, several drivers finding themselves in that position, trying to make something magical happen. And, you know, we can kind of take a look here as we'll jump up to another driver who, well, a driver who actually does not need to worry about that right now. Let me tell you, that's this guy right here, Travis Gilbert. Winner of the past 2 races. He's been in fine form over the past few weeks, and he's been wicked fast so far here tonight, running third basically since the drop of the green flag, and he is knocking on the door for second right now. Carter Lynn's trying to hold on to it. Oh, that got really close off of 2.
To the outside a couple times there by just a sliver of that splitter, but not able to really trigger the spotter to say car high. And so Carter Lynn's able to shut the door a couple more times, but they are making up ground on Rob Rader. They're turning up the heat every single lap. I think they figured something out because the 53 has not stretched that lead out as far as it was at the end of stage 1. It's down to 0.3 of a second. The 22 and 66 are coming.
Yeah, they are, and this battle, while it's been pretty heavy between Linz and Gilbert, has not really gotten side by side, so they haven't slowed each other down a ton, and instead it's just been forcing both of them to start to reel in the race leader. And we'll see if that continues here over the past couple laps. They've been running about even lap times. That lead did drop from about 5.5, say 6/10 down to about 3.5, 4. So they are all starting to get stacked up a little bit here, but with the onboard with Travis Gilbert, you get a sense of just how quickly laps go by here and how much time you spend turning at Bristol. You get into such a rhythm more than any other racetrack because it's just immediate. You get on the throttle, you're right back on the brakes and turning that wheel, and it's just a time and time and time again. You're not going down the straightaway for more than 2-3 seconds here before you're getting back into that corner.
So far, so good for the top 3. Sideways for Kevin Orlando in the background, and 27 car has Michael Reed on the back bumper. If we could back this up about 20 seconds, you'll see Kevin Orlando had his hands full coming off the corner. You can see now that Reed is getting into the inside of the 27, but watch right here. Just super loose and almost into the outside wall. Close call there for Kevin Orlando, and I think my brain just glitched there for a moment. That was unusual.
So, speaking of unusual, it's not often you get to have that level of contact at a place like Bristol, and you're able to keep this car moving in the right direction. But Orlando's been able to do just that. Continues to run in that 4th position, but Michael Reed's knocking down that door at some point here with the way he's running. It's just a matter of time before he finds that way around because he's gotten right to the back bumper of the 27 a couple times here in the past few laps.
They're both loose right there in the live shot. Man, I'd say what, this car is a handful at Bristol. Even more so because this car is so aero dependent. You recognize the front splitter. You see those really short back spoilers. And the sides of these cars are just streamlined. I mean, the underpinning, the front splitter, all the way to the back where the exhaust goes, and it's insane how much they're air dependent. But this track is grip and mechanical grip. You don't get going fast enough to make any of that functional.
No, you certainly don't. But that's part of the fun, but also part of the challenge about racing here at Bristol. So we'll take a dive a little deeper into the field here. This is Kyle Stewart running in the 15th position, and he's in a little bit of a freight train of cars here. Everyone trying to get their own little bit of real estate, and this is the toughest time to pass at Bristol. When everyone single files out, you want to make that move, but it gets really tricky because there's may not be the room in front of you to make that move, as you see Justin Ritchie take a peek to the inside with so many cars all kind of strung together in a short little bit of space. Bristol runs out of real estate really fast, and it makes passing that much more tricky when you're going around here at speed.
Just ahead of that, you have Justin Ritchie, Kyle Stewart teammates.
Then it's around.
14, again, problems for the 14. Cautions out on lap 95.
That happened in real time. We saw that unfold.
He's going to end up losing a lap here, but that was a hard lick there. It's Picklesheimer to the outside. He just ran out of racetrack. There was nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was tough here. We'll jump with the 35. Take a look at the replay on his point of view. Maybe we'll do a little little nose cam action, just how quickly things run out of space. Getting right into the car.
Yeah, a little bit of clipping there, and that's one of the things we talked about pre-race, and I just I was throwing it together on you, so you're doing a heck of a job. I just want to establish for anybody out there that's watching this right now, and then maybe it's a little bit off compared to where it normally is. This was thrown together in 45 minutes. I absolutely got to thank Alex Gagnon for putting this together. I was not home. I was not able to get back in time, so he is running production for the first time ever, and he's doing a fantastic job. So shout out to you first and foremost. And it's just one of those things that iRacing provides us with camera packs, but they're not great. So it's one of those customary things that you acquire as a broadcaster, and we'll make sure to get that. There's so many things to set up here, Alex. You did a fantastic job making this as seamless as possible.
Yeah, the goal was to make sure we could actually, go live, and people can see what's happening for the most part, and they can hear us, I believe. So, we got the big check marks off, and every time I do this from here on out, it's going to be that much better than the time before. But again, appreciate everyone's patience at home. If this doesn't look completely seamless, that's because it's not. This is what happens if you have to put the co-pilot in charge, and the co-pilot hasn't had to fly the plane and the entire time they've been broadcasting iRacing. So we're just about at this lap 100 mark so far. So about 2/5 of the way through this race, and looks like we had one taker who stayed out here, and that is the 89 of Michael Call. And I wonder how this is going to work out for him. He's on 30 lap older tires than the rest of the field. And tires aren't super critical with this model as far as how cold this track is, but they're certainly going to play a factor. Of that I have no doubt. So I am really curious to see how well he holds off, especially with Gilbert, Rader, and Linz here, who have been so fast tonight in the next 3 spots.
Yeah, I think that for him, it's going to be a matter of hold on as long as you can. But I don't see a long-term gain for this situation. He might be trying to flip the strategy. We still have 150 laps.
Restart.
Rob Rader with wheel spin. Horrible restart
boy.
for Rader. And there it is again. The luck comes back out for the Chapman 53.
Yeah, that was rough. Let's take a look here at the replay. That was another restart here tonight, the second one. The other one we were at commercial for, but just one where they just could not get going. We'll take a look here at this replay. We'll get a little closer as well to get a better sense of what happened. Keep an eye on the 53 of Rob Rader. I don't know exactly what happened, but he missed something or something missed him. And this stacks up the entire inside line. Just spun the tires.
Wheel spin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cold
Boy.
tires and wow.
Let's see if
Justin
we can
Ritchie getting about into that as well.
take a look here with Dakota Floyd.
Call went a little earlier, and I think that's part of it. Most of the time with Rader, he's used to hitting that pedal on the flat spot of the racetrack, and watch comparatively where the 53 is compared to where the guys in front of him go. Michael Call's on a flatter part of the racetrack, and I think Michael Reed's actually leaning on the rear bumper of the 53, if I'm not mistaken. We might be able to get a gyro camera on this 91, but I think he actually made a little bit of contact here.
Yeah,
no,
I
he
think
did
it was
not. It was wheel spin.
Yeah, he obviously made a little bit of contact once he got held up, but that was the yeah, I mean that was gnarly because that's right on the restart. There's not a whole lot you can do in that position, especially because that's such a vulnerable place on the racetrack to have the issue that Rob Rader did. Right at the exit of 4 when everyone's stacked up, no one really has anywhere to go with how high the banking is here. And, now work being done on the 53, work also being done on the 9 car right now. So both of these guys qualified second and third. They're getting some service done to their race cars. And that's going to really throw this running order on its head a little bit, I feel like, as we see the 53 pull away. You still got Michael Call up at the front of the field, but you know, you got some new contenders in that lead group. Travis Gilbert, Carter Lynch, Tyler Harrison. Then you get back here. Dakota Floyd's now in the top 10. Nick Alves is in there. Michael Reed's on his way back. Couldn't have worked out any better for Michael Call in the old tires, though, I guess. Didn't really have to run that far against that tire deficit.
We got a lot of people in the chat, and, you know, Derry Hudgens, always a fan of the 22, but mostly a fan of the 9. And everybody here, Tay McDonald, shout out to you being up in here, and everybody that's been tuning in all season long as the green flag comes back out on lap 105. Michael Call now your leader, as Rob Rader, your stage 1 winner, has problems on that last restart, and the 22's around. Travis Gilbert, he's going to save it barely, but he's going to lose about 15 spots back to 16th position for Gilbert.
Yeah, let's see if we can take a look at what happened to him here. He was
I think he just got loose.
Yeah, I think he just drove it in too deep, and those tires did not hold up. Caught up Harrison as well. 45 was able to get away a little bit cleaner. Yeah, phenomenal save. I mean, it's a miracle that car stayed off the wall.
Phenomenal save, but you go back to the live shot. Now he's fighting with the 26, his teammate. This is back here in 14th position. He also has Caleb Gilbert to the outside in the 54. A lot changed really quickly for the 22, and
you see just behind him as well. There's the other recent caution here. That's the 53 of Rob Rader. So not a caution for Gilbert, but these two guys ran first and third basically the entire opening 100 laps of the race, and now they're buried deep in the field here with this race still under green.
Yeah, and a little bit of damage on both those cars. A little more damage on the 53 compared to the 22, but Travis Gilbert, just a slight mistake. Go count him out as we have problems in the back. Joe Joya into the wall. What a save there for the 7, but he's still wall riding as we go through 3 and 4.
He's still trying to hold on to it. That car did not get settled down even after he initially saved it. Really trying to muscle this thing around. And I'll tell you what, the 7 with a little bit of front end damage, it does not look particularly happy on corner exit right now.
Up front in clean air, though, we had a lead change. Mistake from Michael Call. We'll have to back this up. Carter Lenz takes it over, and the 27 of Kevin Orlando Jr. gets by. Back to third. This is the old tires starting to show themselves for the 89 team. But that pass for position was quick for Lenz.
And there it was. The side-by-side battle was able to work his way to the outside and then was able to clear him right here. You see how out of sorts he got, though. Wow. He even got into the wall a little bit. And that push from the 27 was actually what was able to secure him that position. But the 66, man, he was really forcing the issue. The car almost was not a fan.
And you go back to the live shot, they've since single filed out, and Kevin Orlando's starting to take the heat to the 66. We might see another battle for the lead. Bristol putting on a phenomenal show here. This is, 25, 26 weeks? I don't even know. I've lost count here, Alex, of how far we are into this season. But all I know is that it's the last race of 16, and we take it down to 12 drivers. Carter Lenz would love to punch his ticket and guarantee that spot. It's still up in the air, though, as we have around 125 laps to go, as who is going to get that job done.
Yeah, that is the question as we look a little bit further back here. Michael Call starting to go the wrong direction as Justice Murphy rolls on by for fourth. Call we were talking about on 30-lap older tires than the field, and I think that's starting to catch up with him just a little bit as Justice Murphy goes by, and Nick Alves looking to apply some pressure here as well. It's been a good run so far, actually, I'd say, for the 24. I haven't talked about him a ton here tonight, but, you know, he's up from 10th up into the top 6, looking to make it top 5, and he's knocking on the door of being able to do so here if Call's not able to hold on to it. The 24, oh, he thought about getting down there.
When the opportunity presents itself, sometimes you're well aware of what some drivers are doing on strategy, and I think everyone knew that the 89 stayed out. So sometimes as a driver, you see, well, he stays out. He's on 30-lap older tires. If he opens up the door, I'm going to pass him with ease. But that's not always the case, and especially here at Bristol, older tires can hang on for quite a while. I've seen drivers at Martinsville go in an entire race, 180 laps without a pit stop. They come in and maybe top off with fuel one time during the entire race, but you don't need tires if you're constantly, running under yellow. And I mean, this has been kind of that race where we've had a caution time lead about every 35 to 40 laps, or even less than that. These guys have had the kind of a reset. And so I don't blame Michael Call for calling that, but at the same time, it didn't really gain him much, because I think he ends up back exactly where he was before he made that gamble.
Yeah, and you see, as we're watching the back half of the top 10 here, Travis Gilbert has gotten back to 10th. He's trying to work his way up even further. On the back bumper is Sirkovich just a second ago, not able to make something going, but 7th through 10th, a little stacked up. The car leading this little 4-car train at the moment is Tyler Harrison. This was a car who also got caught up when the 22 slid up almost into the wall. As you see, Gilbert actually going to be able to make that pass on the inside here for that 9th position, but Harrison caught up when Gilbert almost went around, so both of them have been on the warpath back to the front. And easier said than done, as that 5 putting up a pretty stout challenge for the 9th position right now.
And we were talking about total points and, the playoffs and how all of this is working out. Right now, Carter Lenz was 1 point out. Kyle Diaz was in 12th coming into tonight. Right now, the race is going Carter Lenz's way. He doesn't need to win to get in, but how great would that be for the 66? As you're watching the 22, who is guaranteed a spot. He has the other 2 victories of these 3 weeks. That little mistake, though, during that last restart, he's able to save the car, but he falls out of the top 10. He has worked his way, clawed his way back up to 9th, and he is fighting with Jacob Sirkovich right now, saying, let me go. I have got to get back up here. And wow, Sirkovich cuts him no break there off the exit.
No, Sirkovich was really battling for that spot. He was trying to hold on to it. And that was a really, really good battle between those two, as all of these cars have also reeled in Michael Call. The 89 now is in 6th, maybe in danger of slipping even further, as Tyler Harrison has reeled him in, but he's got Robinson and Gilbert on his back bumper. Robinson going to take a peek to the inside here, going to try to wheel it around. He's got a nose ahead, and he will take that spot at the stripe. Matt Robinson up to 7th. Travis Gilbert trying to follow him on through the 45, and a bit of a tough spot right now, trying to hold on, but he's got several cars all attacking him at the same time here.
That's your 3rd in points driver versus your 1st in points driver. The way it is sitting right now at this playoff cutoff line, Jeremy Burns in the entire regular season, dominant performance after dominant performance, and then Travis Gilbert wins 2 in a row and takes the points lead by 3. And then Tyler Harrison here, he could end up passing the 9 of Jeremy Burns. Burns is running all the way back in 18th right now after he picked up some damage from that restart with Rob Rader. So this is a situation. If you're a Jeremy Burns fan, you know he's going to make it to the round of 12, but he's not going to be in the same scenario where he started the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's also probably a little bit of a concern knowing how good he was in the regular season and then how much he really has struggled a little bit in these playoffs.
Oh, Michael Call 3 wide. Wow.
Oh, boy, he got up into the fence. Travis Gilbert tried stabbing it through and then had to back out of it at the last second. Those two got tangled up a little bit, and it allowed Robinson to get some distance here. But the 89 of Michael Call, he's starting to go the wrong way in a hurry. He's down to the 8th position here and continues to slip, as now he's got Harrison and Holloway knocking on the door here trying to take that spot away.
So some names of drivers that have to win to get in. The way it sits right now, Trevor Erhardt, Michael Reed, and Brandon Richardson are almost guaranteed. They have to win this race. They are 25 or more points. Richardson's 44 out. He needs to win here at Bristol tonight. He's currently running in 15th position. We can look at Michael Reed, who missed last week. He's 26 out. And he also has, Carter Lenz up front, who was just on the edge of that cut mark in a win situation right now. Kevin Orlando running in the top 3 right now in the 27. He's kind of in that weird bubble there But the way he sits right now, he is good to go. He was in 11th coming into tonight, 6 above that cut line. And then Kyle Diaz, that's the other one. He's the guy that's 1 above, and he is currently running in 22nd position. So for Kyle Diaz, if Trevor Erhardt's ahead of him, if Michael Reed's ahead of him, this could be a bad situation for him. He needs to pick up probably about 5 or 6 spots to make sure that Trevor Erhardt, Michael Reed, Brandon Richardson don't gain enough points to maybe knock him out.
Yeah, and he's having a bit of a bigger issue here as he's one of a couple cars, I think, who just got put a lap down. He's in the free pass position, but Carter Lynn's starting to open up that gap a little bit. As you see, he's now about a half straightaway ahead. So his fate of staying on the lead lap no longer really in his hands, and he might need the free pass here at the rate we're going, because Carter Lynn's is starting to really churn ahead. He's 3.5 seconds clear of Kevin Orlando in second, but that's a great battle here for that second spot because Michael Reed's knocking on the door. He's trying to take that spot away on the inside.
Like I said, win and you're in. Michael Reed's going to try to chase down the number 66 and that 3.5 second lead. We also have green flag pit stops to think about. If we keep running this race under green, they're absolutely going to come up. And it's a matter of how many do we have. Fuel usually somewhere around that 110 mark on 100% fuel. So I put these guys probably somewhere in that 65 to 70 range here tonight on half a fuel tank.
It's funny you say that because Michael Call actually just made his stop, I believe, the 89, working his way down pit road. He is officially being marked as having about 78 laps on those tires, but that was through multiple cautions. So I think he ran that thing as far as he could and then brought it down pit road when he wasn't going to be able to run any more laps.
Well, you were mentioning Kyle Diaz a moment ago. He's in that free pass position, but he's been out here 81 laps, and now he's in a spot where he's going to have to pit and maybe risk losing that free pass position and hand it over to Dylan Picklesheimer in 22nd.
Yeah, that's a really precarious place to be in right now. Not only being behind the 8 ball on the tire and fuel situation, but also trying to, figure out what he... Oh, Reed just got a piece of Joe Joya there.
Lap traffic becoming a factor now for the 91, and he's losing even more ground as you see the lead on the left-hand side up to 4.5 seconds. The 26 just trying to get out of the way of Reed. It's still a tight one, but the 26 is in a bad spot right now, and it's problems right in front of Reed. The 7, the 23, and the 27. Wow, that was close there.
Oh, everyone piling in. No, that turned out
no one called it out. That is horrible for the 45. The 21. Caution was already out. And Tyler Harrison gets front end damage.
Let's see if we can take a look here at the replay. I guess this starts up with Joe Joya and Chris Schaefer. 2 of them make contact off of 4, and then everyone just piles in here. Alves and Gilbert nowhere to go. Robinson hammers Schaefer. Holloway into the back of Gilbert. Looks like Nick Alves really had to throw on the brakes there. Let's see if that was no, that wasn't Nick Alves. That was a different car that looked very similar. But we'll take another look at this here. All of it comes unglued right on the next time around. The 7 and the 23 get tangled up.
Yeah, and you're watching this, kind of in real time. We're watching Reed try to navigate the traffic, and if you have a gyro cam with the 27 of Kevin Orlando, you absolutely need to play it.
Yeah.
That was as close as it gets. There was no racetrack left for him to squeeze through there.
I'll take a look here. So you see this battling unfolding in front of him. This is the onboard with Kevin Orlando. So the spin happens coming out of this corner, I believe. Yeah.
Watch how fast it happens at Bristol. And remember, this is a better angle that we're seeing.
Whoa.
But, yeah, there's no racetrack left for the 27. He just makes it past that. If he's maybe 2/10 further back, Joe Joy is going to hit him into the outside wall.
Yeah. And it's a really fortunate break here for Kevin Orlando Jr., who's had a really good run going here tonight, that he's able to keep this thing in one piece and keep it rolling. And that works out really well for a lot of these cars who use this as an opportunity to come down pit road, except for one. The 10 of Kyle Stewart stays out here on 50-odd some lap-old tires. And now he'll inherit the race lead. But he's got a couple of really fast race cars on fresh tires, ready to try to jump up there and take it. And I'm looking in the top 10 here, Bradley, and I'm seeing both that 22 and that 53 are back into these front 5-6 rows. They're slowly but steadily working their way back into the mix here with less than 100 to go.
Chipping away for Gilbert, chipping away ever so slightly, and
Whoa,
and
boy.
Carter Lenz, 27, another wheel spin on this restart. How many times are we going to see a driver take the lead and then make a mistake? That's happened twice tonight, and now this puts Michael Reed in a great situation for his must win. He has 58 lap-old tires in front of him with Kyle Stewart. It should be an easy pass here into one.
Yeah, and he's going to make that move. He's got a nose ahead going into turn 3. Just needs to clear him off of 4. He's going to do so. The 91 of Michael Reed to the point. He won at Richmond a few weeks ago, and now on the short track here at Bristol, he is back out front. Carter Lenz, though, not trying to forfeit the lead that easily. He's on the move. He's up to second and looking for more as he's got Alex Forget behind him. The 19 got his first podium since March last week, and he is really trying to build on that momentum here as he's looking to move up into third as well.
I'm going to take a look here just to catch up and make sure that this isn't going to fall right into Michael Reed's hands. We talked about how he wasn't present for Gateway and his performance at Richmond that got him in here. But look at the scenario for the 91 of Michael Reed and how perfect it's went. You are talking about the 19 right now of Alex Forget on your screen, and he had a podium finish. But the momentum that you have here is we actually have a battle for the lead. Carter Lenz trying to take it back now as the 91 made a little mistake there off of turn 2, and that puts the 66 back to the inside. 91 is also in a must-win situation. Lenz could probably afford to finish this race out in the top 5 and be okay. But Reed needs to fight here as hard as he can to keep this lead. Into the wall again.
Well, he is doing anything he can to keep that nose to the outside of the 66. Got the wall there again. Huge save, had to chase it down the racetrack. Carter Lenz back to the lead, and Forget going to work the outside. He's now up to second. Kevin Orlando looking to fill the gap as well. The 91 had the lead for a couple of laps. We were just saying how things had been working out so well for him. Got a little bit of the wall there, and that's all it took to now set him back into the third spot.
Seeing the 15 machine in the mix of all this, he's actually a lap down. So the way that caution just fell, a lot of cars had started coming into pit road. They were going to split this up into thirds on that lap. And with the caution coming out with the 7 of Joya and the 23 of Schaefer, it put a lot of these, pretty much half the field that's running competitively, a lap down.
Yeah, and that could also be a real detriment. I mean, there's only 10 cars scored on the lead lap with the way that cycled out. And even though that is not atypical for a race like Bristol, the way we got here was not because someone's taken off and just kept lapping the field. This is just because of that pit strategy and where the caution fell in the middle of it. So right now, Trevor Keith, the free pass car, running with the cars in the top 5, but currently scored in that 11th position.
So we carry on here for lap 169. Across the stripe there for your race leader, Carter Lenz. And a fantastic day so far. He has led 52 laps. Would also like to establish that the other vast majority of these laps led go to Rob Rader, and he is in 12th position right now. Rader not in a great scenario, but again,
the caution
was good
out
enough last week, and the caution's out again.
And I'll be
gonna go for
entirely honest, I'm not sure for who.
Well, let's, I'll take a rewind. I'll try to locate that for you.
Under caution now for the 8th time tonight. See Travis Gilbert bail down pit road late. So 8 cautions, 8 lead changes so far here tonight at Bristol as we just get to the 80 to go mark this time around.
Yeah, something a little strange here. I'm trying to find exactly where this caution fell.
I know Michael Bennett's got some significant damage, but I know he was also in an earlier incident, so I'm not sure if it's for the 14. The 11 also on pit road right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the 14 of Michael Bennett. Brandon Richardson was behind him.
Let's see if we can take a look here at the replay real quick.
Yeah, you're going to find it right here. They made contact a couple different times, and I think the 14's just getting loose off the exits. The 8 car keeps getting a run, and where Bennett got loose, Richardson couldn't react to time. He thought he was going to get a run off the corner like he did right there, and then the very next time, Bennett's going to get loose right here.
Oh, yeah.
And the 8 just no time to react to it.
Yeah, so the 14's around. Sirkovich also caught up in that one. Take a look here if we can go on board with the 5 machine. See how quickly this happens in front of him. You see he's watching that battle and then just, nowhere to go. Got slowed up trying to not get into him, but when a car's sideways at Bristol, there's very, very little you can do.
Yeah, that's really the counterpart to Dover, and if you want to talk about a terrible place to have a car sideways and nowhere to go, the exit of turn 2 at Dover, or the exit of turn 4, they are the worst places to be if a car is 90 degrees in the middle of the racetrack.
Because you simply do not have a choice in where you're going, and you better just hope that there's no one in front of you who's going to slow you up. And we're looking at this lead group here. The lights are off on the pace car, so they'll be going this time by. Carter Lynch, Alex Forget, your front row. Michael Reed, Kevin Orlando, Justice Murphy, Jacob Sirkovich, your top 6. The 5 still nursing that damage a little bit as we are racing again at Bristol. Good launch for the 66, and Reed and Forget going to start duking it out here for second just behind him.
So a better restart there for the top 5. I figured, hey, we're probably going to see Michael Reed spin the tires next because he had the lead, and it seems to be the curse tonight. As soon as you lead a lap, now suddenly your tires don't work on the restarts. He is fighting hard with Kevin Orlando, not able to hold on to it. He's going to dive back to the inside here. Still getting tight, and Kevin Orlando is going to claim that spot. In the background, it was Kyle Diaz who got the free pass position. Look at the 26 now as he goes up to 7th.
Yeah, the complexion of his race has completely changed. He was in 22nd before that green flag pit cycle when the caution came out. And now here, as we're getting to the tail end of this thing, he is right where he wants to be, running in the top 10 and looking pretty strong. Trevor Keith still the car that's in position to get the free pass should there be a caution. He's running with the cars that are 7th and 8th on the racetrack, but he is currently 1 lap down. So is Brandon Richardson.
Reed.
Oh, the 91.
Michael Reed into the wall. 91 just clipped the wall coming off of turn 2, and he was bad sideways like we saw a moment ago. He was trying to get to the outside of Kevin Orlando, and as soon as he stepped on the pedal to get to that door, car stepped out on him again, bounced the right side. He is having a tough time in clean air.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's got a wicked fast car when trying to get through traffic. It's just a matter of actually being able to get that car to handle right when he's got a little bit more rotation. And he just, trying to get up, get as much as you can on corner exit. And sometimes at Bristol, you just get a little too much, get over anxious trying to get back onto the throttle because it's tough to get any real throttle time at a track this short. And sometimes that's all it takes for the back end to start stepping out on you.
You're also kind of taking this car and throwing it into the corner as deep as you can possibly handle it, dragging the brake as late as possible to keep it down on the bottom. And then you have to drive it like there's an egg under the gas pedal off the exit of the corner. That's how you have to drive this car. You're seeing so many of these guys have different entry points. It's because they're trying to get as much of the entry of this corner as they can, as much speed into the middle before they have to lightly glide off the exit.
Yeah, we're seeing that right now with some of these lead cars, even though they're in pretty good shape on tires. Kyle Diaz on the freshest tires of those in the top 10. Just not able to really get the throttle down as much as you'd expect, even on fresher tires. Just with the way this track is set up, you really just need to be mindful about how much throttle you give it, because it's so easy to lose it. And speaking of losing it, not that he's lost it yet, but Alex Forget has reeled in the race leader, Carter Lenz. He is starting to apply a little bit of pressure here to the 66.
That he is. I was just about to mention that. He's actually lost a 10th this last time by. So I don't know if Carter Lenz is maybe just trying to mirror drive and keep that 19 in some dirty air, or if the 19 was that much faster for that moment. But, you know, it's a different line here for Lenz. He's moved it up. He's kind of double diamonding these corners, as where Forget is keeping it all the way down on that yellow line and trying to get some left front air. I don't know what the preferred line is at this point in this race, other than, you know, Carter Lenz has the advantage of clean air. He can kind of do whatever he wants as long as he's comfortable with it. But he's chasing this car all over the racetrack, and you just saw there, he gave up a 10th there on that exit of turn 2. It's a gamble every single time you try to mirror drive like that.
Yeah, it is. The effective part is you know exactly where the car is behind you. You're able to aero block, especially in these next-gen Gen 7 cars. The aero block really powerful, but at that same degree, you know, if you're spending so much time looking at the rearview mirror, you're not spending a ton of time looking at the windshield, making sure you're hitting your marks. And we're seeing Forget now within a car length at its closest. It's kind of fluctuating between a car length or two as they're going around this racetrack. But the 19, very much in striking position here if the 66 makes a mistake.
So the direction that I want to go now is the 22 and the 53 are fighting for position. This is for 8th spot.
Everything
we got a
getting
lot going
stacked
on
up
back
there.
here. A lot going on back here as we almost go 3 wide. And here's Jeremy Burns in the 9. He is 1 lap down. He is actually not passing for a position, but he would love to be the first car a lap down. And so the 9 has to get around Trevor Keith and Brandon Richardson, who are about 4 car lengths ahead of him.
Yeah, the 9 and the 22, you know, these two guys have had the lion's share of wins this season. The 22 has gotten the better of them as of the past couple weeks. Right now, they're door-to-door in very different situations. Both of them, though, not where they want to be. That much I'm confident in. So you see a lot of other cars bouncing off each other in front of them. That's Kyle Stewart getting in there as well, just ahead of him. He bounced off of Michael Call a second ago. And now you see Rob Rader and Brandon Richardson side by side. The 53 trying to work his way through lap traffic as well, because Richardson and Keith also trying to get their lap back should there be a late caution.
This is what Rob Rader does best. That's why he is a 4-time champion. He is now 7th in the points, and you know, for an abysmal regular season, he had 1 victory. He's put together some stage wins here in the playoffs. He's doing just enough, just what it takes. We got 3 wide there with the 22 through the middle. Richardson got loose off of the exit there. But, you know, you talk about what Rader will do with a damaged car like that. He is in recovery mode every single race, and he's done a fantastic job to keep this playoff berth alive.
Yeah, and the 53 now clear of that lap traffic, and he's starting to set sail.
Oh,
He's up
heavy
there.
contact with Call. Wow.
He just
Call off the wall.
Yeah, he went right in there and was able to, you know, give Kyle Stewart a handshake if he wanted to. I mean, that car phased halfway into one another. That was wild.
Bounced off the wall. The clipping was insane in itself, but he took the 10 all the way down the racetrack. 8 wheels is better than 4, but I don't know if that was the case here.
Yeah, certainly not. Now he's trapped in the middle of all of this, trying to find a place to run, getting tagged there by Gilbert. The 89 is just having a whale of a time right now, and I don't mean that in a good way. That's a tough place to be right now if you are Michael Call. It's not a race that
It's
he's
also
wanted to have. He's 3 laps down, but is still in constant danger at the moment as everyone keeps bouncing off him.
It's also a tough situation for the 15 who ends up getting passed. And that puts Tyler Harrison, the last one, in line for the free pass position should we get a caution. But 12th position on back, trapped a lap down, and you're about to see a battle for that free pass position between the 45 and the 9. As Trevor Keith falls back to 14th, he's about 9/10 back from this battle.
Yeah, but right now, Harrison and Burns, 2 very fast race cars battling for that free pass. Travis Gilbert stuck behind them both. Rob Rader just ahead of him. There's the 53. He's trying to work his way up to Kyle Stewart. Was closer just a moment ago. Now trapped a little deeper back in the pack as we see these two side by side. That's the battle for the free pass as they go. Looks like Burns might get the edge here. Might be able to use Rader as a pick. Harrison not able to follow him through because Gilbert made a move to the outside. And now Gilbert trying to take that spot away from Rader.
So this shakes up everything. It makes it even harder for, the 53 of Raider to get up here and race his own race. It got lap traffic back and forth. The position was in front of Raider for Kyle Stewart. Now Travis Gilbert gets by. And I know the damage isn't helping this 53 by any means. But, man, what a tough break. Your stage 1 winner, he's doing just enough. He's in the top 10. It's going to be enough to punch his ticket into the final 12. But how many races does Rob Rader have to win a stage in before he wins the race again?
That is the question. I'm sure he's asking himself the same question as we jump up here. This is the battle for the 4th position. Oh, Murphy and Orlando into
Wow.
it. Oh, and Orlando's around. Big contact, cautions out with 40 laps to go about. And Kevin Orlando Jr., who has had a picture-perfect run to this point, now with significant right front damage. Take a look here. This is the battle with Justice Murphy. And just as we cut up to watch this battle for 4th is when everything came unglued.
Happened so quickly here. I'm not sure what to make of that.
This is the onboard with Justice Murphy. And honestly, I think it may have even been a little bit of netcode. I'm not sure if they officially made contact. It was certainly close, but it was just enough to get the 27 around.
Yeah.
As we take a look here as well, we'll take one more look at it here with the 27.
Yeah, if you go to a blimp camera on this, it looks like netcode. It looks like there's a little bit of a gap here between the two of them. It's ever so slight, but where the 27 starts to go sideways, the 12's not actually making contact, but it is so close. I think the 12's coming up the racetrack that iRacing's predicting that he's going to hit the 27 anyway. And that's what netcode usually is that you're going to make contact. It's just that iRacing's predicting it because you can't always have precise positioning, especially when it comes to the internet. So, that's a tough call as far as netcode goes, but I know that it doesn't mean anything to Kevin Orlando right now. He doesn't care.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's frustrated. He's had such a good run going. But for our lead pack here, this was a huge opportunity. Come down pit road, they're good on tires and fuel the rest of the way. Also a big opportunity for those cars who are trapped a lap down. They can finally take the wave around. So, guys like Trevor Keith, Dakota Floyd, Tyler Harrison, Caleb Gilbert, all of these cars are going to be able to take the wave around, get back on the lead lap here. It's a big reset. When they go great racing again, it'll be about 35 to go, give or take. And they'll have everything they need to get to the end of this thing, Bradley. It's just a matter of who's going to have the pace at this point.
Kevin Orlando Jr. has too much damage to finish this race. He's going to end up 2 laps down, and it probably will continue somewhere around the 19th or 20th position for the 27. And now that puts him in a weird spot because he had only 6 points above the cutoff line in 11th coming into tonight. He needed to perform well, and this is not the finish that he wanted. He might end up not making it to the final 12 when we go racing next week. But here's Carter Lenz with the 19. A Barume really loose into the wall.
Lost a ton of speed, didn't lose a ton of positions, but is going to fall back from that battle for the race lead. So now Carter Lynn's going to open up the gap over Michael Reed and Justice Murphy, the two of them back in the picture. And here comes Travis Gilbert to the inside. And that battle for fourth, that 22, not done yet, nor is Rob Rader, who's up to the 6th position now.
The headaches continue for Rob Rader. He got a good restart, but then he saw the contact there with the 19. He had checked up, and then Travis Gilbert, it just shuffled everyone around. He ends up losing a ton of ground. The 26 is around in the background. Lap 216, and just back to the lead lap a moment ago, Kyle Diaz, sideways.
See if we can see what happened to the 26. He was running in that 7th position just behind Rob Rader. And here they go into turn 3 and 4. It's coming off of turn 4 that the 26 has the issue. Just down on the apron, pushing Rob Rader. And I think that transition from the apron back to the bankings what got that car unstable.
Of course, you can see it there with Rob Rader. A lot of damage on that machine. So he's not able to power out of these corners like the rest of this field. And the 26 was a little impatient with Rader, to say the least.
Yeah, we're on board here with Nick Alves. And you can see Diaz just keeps working it down lower and lower on the racetrack before eventually he loses it. Take one more look at it here from the old blimp cam. And that, just as we were talking about how Kevin Orlando Jr. might be in a tough spot, Kyle Diaz may also now be in a tough spot here.
Yeah, I think for Diaz, it was more of a finish the race with, the Trevor Erhardt, Michael Reed, and those guys, Erhardt, of course, not making the field tonight in the 41. So that was a good situation for Diaz. He didn't have to worry about the 41 who was just there, but Carter Lenz is going to win this race. So Diaz needs to finish. And he even had a better scenario with Kevin Orlando, but now Diaz is the closest guy. So this bails out Kevin Orlando a little bit. It's going to be interesting how it all plays out. But I think for, Richardson and these guys that are 13th on back, points-wise, I don't think they can actually overtake the 27 as... I don't know. I have to do quick math on this, but I don't think it's going to change much here for Orlando now because Diaz is out. I think he's in a better situation now with this cut line.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And, normally I'm more than happy to jump in and do the quick maths, but admittedly I have enough buttons in front of me tonight for the first time that I've decided that the quick math will have to wait till the next time here in the Chapman Cup Series. But so far, 10 cautions, 10 lead changes. Rob Rader was your stage winner. He's up to 6, but it's Carter Lenz who's going to lead Michael Reed, Justice Murphy, and Travis Gilbert here on this restart with 30 laps to go. It's going to be 29 at the line. So we get rocking and rolling once again at Bristol. And Carter Lenz, he's got the advantage. And the one is Justice Murphy got right to the back bumper of Michael Reed, and into the wall he goes.
Into the wall. Murphy and Reed make contact, and Reed pays the price for it. That was actually the 12 that got into the back of him, and he's got heavy right front damage.
And we stay
Michael
green.
Reed is done for the day.
Take a look here on the replay. The 91 coming off at turn 2. Yeah, we were saying the 12 was right to the back bumper. Yeah, definitely into the back bumper. 91 shoots up the racetrack, heavy damage, and unfortunately for Reed, does not result in a caution.
I mean, the 12 hit him so hard that he picked up right front damage. That was not netcode.
So the 12 continues to soldier on, but boy, he's been in some altercations here in the past few laps here, both with the 91 and with the 27 there, Bradley. Justice Murphy, he's had his fair share of scraps here tonight, and normally that's a position we see the guy he's battling with right now. Typically that's a Travis Gilbert situation, but now both of them find themselves in the middle of the hornet's nest, per se.
Not teammates, but both running Penske fonts. So if that doesn't do it for you, I don't know what will. But it's a weird situation when you see a guy 2 or 3 times in a row. I think a lot of it's just driving style and driving line at these short tracks. The 12 probably feels like he's faster than everyone in front of him, but you also can't drive through them.
Oh, caution's out.
Caution's out
For Kyle Stewart, the 10's around. And that is going to bring out our 11th caution of the night. I was going to say potentially bailing out Michael Reed, but he's already 6 laps down, so not going to help him a ton as we'll take a look here at the replay. Kyle Stewart was battling with Tyler Harrison. This was in the back half of the top 10. The 10 just got loose.
Just got loose. The 9 got a piece of it. I don't think he got any substantial damage right there.
Oh, Sarkovic.
As it was
the 5 lost it.
Where did the 5 go?
The 5 was trying to get around him, and he...
did he keep it off the wall?
I think he may have, but boy, did he go flying around there and nearly made that a much bigger incident. Take a look here and see what happened with the 5 as everyone is trying to avoid what happens on the backstretch. So it's coming out of this corner.
You're going to see the incident. The 5's going to dive to the inside. He's going to loop it.
A little bit of contact.
That's a slight touch.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. But
so I'm reading chats here, and I saw a chat from Rebecca. Cool, calm, and collected. And this was referencing Burns. Use the caution to your advantage. Cool, calm, and collected does not... It's not any of the adjectives I would use here tonight at a short track like Bristol. Cool, calm, and collected was the entire regular season. Now it is tempers,
agitation, and
frustration,
rage potentially, depending on who you ask out there tonight. This is, the slogan, it's Bristol, baby, doesn't just apply to the fact that it's a cool place to race. It's because normally some wild stuff happens. But if there is any man who is probably, kind of calm behind that wheel, it may just be the 9 of Jeremy Burns. Whenever it's race time, he is really dialed in. And I think
makes it look easy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. That's part of the reason why we've seen him in victory lane so much this season. Although right now, this is about as high as he's run since the start of this race. He got caught up in some early incidents with his teammate there, Rob Rader, just in front of him. And it's taken him about the whole race to get back into the mix here. You can say that for Travis Gilbert and Rob Rader as well, who line up alongside each other for this restart. But it's going to be Carter Linz and Justice Murphy in about half a lap here when they go green. They'll be leading him to the green flag again with under 20 laps to go.
Real chance that the 22 of Travis Gilbert could go 3 in a row and dominate this round of 16. But Carter Linz looking to get his victory, punch his ticket. He's in a great scenario here with the 12 on the outside, a little bit of damage on that machine, and a great restart for the 66 of Linz into turn 1. Side by side, the 12 washing up the racetrack. He has right front damage. And here's Tyler Harrison back into the picture, into the top 5, fighting with Rob Rader.
Yeah, and he got a little checked up there trying to get off the corner. So here we go. Here's the top 4. Travis Gilbert going to apply some pressure to Linz for the race lead. This could be for the race win. He's going for 3 in a row to sweep the round of 16. And he's only 1 spot away. His next time by, it'll be 16 or 15 laps to go here from Bristol. Linz a little loose off of 2.
Wow. And that was Linz loose off the corner, but also trying to protect the lead. He did not want the 22 to get to the inside. He did a fantastic job of holding on to that car while simultaneously keeping the 22 at bay. He's going to hold on to the lead for the time being, but I don't think Travis Gilbert's done just yet.
No, he's certainly not. Linz has got the advantage for now, but that's about all we can say as Travis Gilbert is trying to knock down the door here. He's looking to go 3 in a row. Linz trying to win and lock his way into the round of 12. He came into tonight below the cut line. Granted, only a point down, so he should be fine to advance if he keeps in the top 5, but the win would guarantee it. And right now, he's trying to hold on to those 2 tenths as we are creeping to 10 laps to go.
Can confirm with Kyle Diaz and Kevin Orlando being out of this race into this scenario. Well, with the 26, more of he had issues. He's in 14th, but Kevin Orlando completely out. He's back in 19th. I think that the 66 should evaluate how much do I want to fight the 22. Yeah, it's probably not a great scenario for the 22 to dominate all 3 races, but he's going to look to the inside and almost some contact. He's going to all over the bumper.
That was a big time block from Carter Linz. I thought Gilbert was going to get to the inside that time. The 66 said no way. Holds on to that spot for now. Boy, he is wheeling that thing up at the front right now, just doing whatever he can to hold off Travis Gilbert.
10 laps left now, 9, and they tick away quickly here at Bristol. Alex Forget Berube is fighting back here for the 8th position with Caleb Gilbert. But that battle for the lead has subsided just a little bit here.
We're creeping in now, only 8 laps to go from Bristol, and Carter Linz opens up that gap to the biggest it's been since the restart. It's a quarter second, about 2.5 car lengths at biggest between the 66 and the 22. The two of them, though, have absolutely gapped Justice Murphy. He's back in third, a full second behind these two.
And with the way all these cautions fell, Trevor Keith back into the top 10, back on the lead lap, running in 8th. As we were watching that just a second ago, it's a great scenario, and I think Trevor Keith deserves to be up here in the top 10. It was just those pit stops, the way that caution fell, that put him in a bad spot. Travis Gilbert makes a mistake. He loses a ton of time here, almost half a second. And we got 5 laps to go when Carter Linz crosses the stripe. I think this race goes to Carter Linz. If we stay green all the way to the end, I don't think anybody has something for him. Clean air is king for the 66.
Yeah, he looks good right now with only a couple of laps to go. A little deeper in the field, some battles with Forget and Raider. That's the battle for 6th as they go. Harrison and Burns in front of them. That's the battle for 4th. Looks like Forget will take that spot away, but not enough time for any of these guys to get up there and challenge for the race win at this point.
And Carter Linz with 2 laps to go next time by. The 66 car has led 130 of the 250 laps scheduled here tonight. We're almost there, and we don't have the graphic here today. I apologize for that. That was one of those last-minute things that we might have glossed over. But we're going to get the white flag here for presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. And Carter Linz only has half a mile to punch his way into the final 12. It's a victory lane celebration for Carter Linz and the number 66. The fireworks continue at Bristol.
Carter Linz, 133 laps, dominated the back half of that race. Fantastic drive, punches his ticket to the round of 12, and Travis Gilbert going to go first, second. And the round of 16 can't overstate how good he was as Carter Linz just piles it into Jeremy Burns. They're all trying to get sorted here for the podium fixture. I think it's Justice Murphy who's trying to get up there with him, but man, what a fun race here tonight at Bristol, and Carter Linz, I'm sure, going to feel relieved that he doesn't even have to worry about the points as they ran. Gets the win to settle this thing.
Fantastic drive here for the 66, and he's going to take his victory lap around this place. He's trying to drift it. It didn't work.
All right. think we'll step away for a brief commercial break. When we come back, it will be interviews with your podium finishers, including race winner Carter Lenz, as well as tonight's final results. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Race results, HUD.UI. Welcome back here to our coverage at Bristol. Carter Lenz, victorious. Rob Rader gets the stage one win, but there's the top three with Travis Gilbert, another podium finish. He won 2 out of the 3 and got a second place. He has done a fantastic job to maximize points here in the round of 16. It's Justice Murphy with the top 3, and then Tyler Harrison and Alex Forget Berube for the top 5. Jeremy Burns, who had a dominant regular season, he's going to end up finishing in the 6th spot. It's Rob Rader doing just enough to maintain for the top 12. He'll finish in 7th. Trevor Keith in 8th as a recovery race for him. Brandon Richardson, most likely eliminated after tonight here. And then Dakota Floyd in the 10th position. Take it away, Alex.
Looking a little further back here. 11th tonight, Caleb Gilbert, Nick Alls finishing 12th, Justin Ritchie in the 13th position, just ahead of Dylan Picklesheimer and Kyle Diaz in the 15th spot. Jacob Sirkovich will finish 16th, 2 laps down, the first car off the lead lap. Kyle Stewart finishing 17th, Michael Call 18th, Kevin Orlando Jr. and Daniel Holloway rounding out the top 20.
So that's interesting if you go back there. It's only 4 positions separating Kyle Diaz in 15th, and then Kevin Orlando Jr. in 19th, and they were separated by 5 points coming into tonight. So this is going to be really close.
And Orlando, I'm pretty sure, got some stage points. I'm not sure about Diaz. That's going to make things really interesting.
That's going to be close. And we don't have any official word on these playoff points yet for the round of 12. All we know is that Travis Gilbert and Carter Lenz are locked in to that round of 12. So we'll try to get that information out to you as fast as possible. You can also tune in to the Discord, but there's Michael Reed. He was one of those drivers that had to win tonight to get in. He's going to end up 21st. He led some laps and problems there with the 12, and we'll touch on that, I'm sure, during the post-race interviews. Michael Bennett, Michael Robinson, 23rd, Christopher Schaefer and Joe Joya rounding out the field here, 116 laps down. With that, though, it's time to take you trackside, and we have post-race interviews to get to. So the first driver we're going to pull up is Carter Lenz in the 66. Welcome back to Victory Lane. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. Pleasure to see you guys here tonight.
Well, Carter, I know this race was kind of flip-flopping back and forth for you. You started on the pole, and then you found yourself kind of hanging on to the top 10. But at no point was this race ever, handed to you. You had to go up there and won it, and you did just enough to defend there on those last two restarts to keep Caleb Gilbert behind you. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It was not an easy one tonight, I'll tell you that, and especially coming in 1 point below the cut line. I had to put it all out there to make it to the next round.
Well, we know that the situation's changed here. We had the 27 of Kevin Orlando, the 26 of Diaz have some bad luck. You also, coming into tonight, running and getting those stage points, I think you would have been okay to finish probably all the way back in 12th tonight. You said that wasn't good enough. You wanted to win.
No, yeah. It don't matter to me. If I see I'm below that cut line, I know whatever I got to do to keep my nose clean, be aggressive, but make it to the end. I got to go for it. And Bristol, I won here in the springtime, so I knew I already had a good benchmark to go off of. But with the whole tire remodel and the whole track rescan, it was kind of a clean slate for everyone. And during practice, we were seeing some of the faster guys that were there in the spring, they were struggling a little bit more. A lot more spins were happening. People kind of had to relearn it tonight. And somehow it stuck with me.
3 race wins now on the season. You had Bristol in the spring and, of course, Iowa, where you got both the stage and the race win. We got a lot coming up on the schedule, and I know that next week is one of those racetracks that maybe certain people circle on their schedule. What about you?
Where are we even going next week? We're going New Hampshire. New Hampshire last year, didn't too bad. Finished second there to Jeremy's win. That was kind of a
rather infamous one, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, we talk about that. We're not letting that happen again this year. But no, have high hopes again for next week. I know I have speed there for some reason. Some of the flatter tracks, I just can carry a little bit more speed than others. But yet again, I believe it just got a new rescan, and like tonight, new tires, new scan. We might have to relearn it all over again. So going in with the chin held high and gonna try and do what I did here tonight.
Putting it all together in the postseason, that's what it's all about. You can have the worst ever, but you give this guy a playoff berth and he's going to get it done. Carter Lenz, congratulations on your 3rd victory. Anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to all the friends and family watching. I know my girlfriend, I can hear you guys upstairs talking to me right now. Hello upstairs. All the sponsors, you guys, V-Speed, you guys, every week, I always say it, you guys do a top-notch broadcast. Racing Rev for allowing me to be here every week, participate, hang out with all the guys. It's a fun time here. Chapman Environmental, Coastal Financial, Enginuity Power Systems. We got Lynn's Heating and Air Conditioning on the side of the car. They've been with me all season. Reams on the car. Just doing everything I can here to put on a good show.
Did a fantastic job, and you've conquered Bristol. We'll see you in 7 days in New Hampshire.
Yep. See you guys then.
Race winner here tonight, and I know Carter Lenz put in the practice. He's been doing that time and time again, especially, you add Trevor Keith and Tyler Harrison. Carter Lenz is also one of those drivers who's just turned up the heat. He's been putting in the time. I mean, we've talked to Jeremy Burns several times about how we have these hosted practice sessions, Alex, and those 3 names were always in there learning, putting in the track time, the seat time. That's what it's all about. And also turning up the heat here for the 22 of Travis Gilbert, and the 2nd place finisher. You've caught up with him.
Hey there, Travis. This is Alex and Bradley in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, Alex. How's it going?
It's going all right, my man. I've been flying around. First night producing the old V Speed show up here, but you put on quite a show yourself, man. Back and forth through the field here tonight. Not entirely by choice, I'm sure, but really got up there in the end and nearly swept the round of 16. What was it like running Bristol tonight, especially on that last run, trying to get by the 66?
Yeah, it's frustrating because the dirty air, we were talking in there, like he's like he is mirror driving me, and obviously my mic's muted in my Discord, and I'm in my chat cussing him out. Like, there's a couple times where if I was a dirty race car driver, I was up to his left rear, and I could have got him loose and put him in a position to where either he's got to lift or pound the wall off the wall, but that's not how we race. At least that's not how I want to race and win races and all that stuff. So it was crazy. I took 2 tires there to try to get out and get some track position because I felt like I was faster than the 66. Don't know if we were faster than the 53 in clean air. Not sure if he would have burned his stuff up. Rob's hard to pass too at a track like this with the way the package is. So Carter did everything good. Every time I would get to him, my car would be neutral and I would be happy and could make ground to him. And as soon as I get within like 3 to 5 tenths of a second of him, then his dirty air would just snap me loose. And I mean, off of turn 2, one time I about smoked it. Like I had to, use some skill to save it and finish second. So matter of fact, I did it off of 4 too. It's rough. And then this tire, you can recover from it. However, if you burn it up and you don't try to recover it, it'll pay you. It'll make you pay for that lack of discipline in the next few corners. Like if you slip the right rear and you don't cool it down, it's gonna get sideways on corner entry, middle exit in the next few laps. So, and then when you've only got a short run to the end and you watch the leaders start to run away from you, you just throttle down. So interesting. We bottomed out there, and I don't know how we saved it and didn't destroy the race car. Then there was a caution where Nick and I literally we were playing bumper cars with the rest of the field because we had nowhere to go. Couldn't go low, couldn't go high. We just tried to stop, and we had a minute worth of damage. Came back through. There was a lot of lap down cars. There's some situations where um it was just I don't know if it was racing for the lucky dog or if people's heads were just getting frustrated with the way the race has gone with the season. And I don't know. I passed Rob one time, and then there was some situations with lab cars that all of a sudden now I'm playing bumper cars with them. Rob gets back by me. I was able to get back by him and start running down the top 5 with Nick in there before that caution came out, and we came down pit road and kind of felt like we reset, got up to third, or actually we were running fourth, and then Justice and Reed got into it, and that sent Reed for a ride. I thought I was gonna get pounded right rear off of that because when someone hits the wall like that or they're going up towards the wall, usually at Bristol they're gonna come off the exit with how tight it is. So scary situation there. Yeah, Alex, you mentioned it. It was back and forth, and I I can't really complain too much. A first, and a second, especially after everything we've been through. Darlington, we went a lap down while pitting, came back and won that race. Gateway, I felt like we kind of got a little one gifted to us because of the 53 with his bad luck, and then tonight I felt like it showcased the true fight of this team.
Yeah, I mean, you were really having the battle back, but when it mattered most, you got up there and an average finishing position of 1.33 for the round of 16. I got to imagine makes you feel pretty good going into the round of 12.
Alex, with how tough this round was and some of the stuff that I just mentioned, I would agree with you. I think it also, should it shows how strong the 22 team is, and that is a lot to do with my teammates at Racing for Freedom. And you guys know that I gave a lot of them the shout outs and stuff like that. And we've got some new announcements coming here forward. So looking forward to showcasing some new paint schemes at the end of the year and introducing some new sponsors and growing our brand over here at Racing for Freedom. And looking forward to what the round of 12 and round of 8, that's that 1.33 finished. I would like to see that in the round of 8 going to the round of 4. That's for that final 4 race. I'd like to see the momentum keep continuing on forward for the next, what is it, 7 races, because we're 3 chapters into this story. So
Yeah, and I mean, tell you what, couldn't have written them any better so far through the opening 3, Travis. Anyone you'd like to shout out here on the podium finish here tonight?
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to Vet to Track. They're coming to an end with Racing for Freedom and my team, and it's not because we don't want to keep sponsoring them. It's just my buddy Jim has finally ran out of funds to keep it going. So we're he appreciates everything that everybody's ever done for him and everything, and we did get a lot of veterans to the racetrack. So it's a sad, bittersweet situation because we've gotten a lot of wins in the vet to track Ford Mustang with them, and I really am sad to see them go. However, I'm looking forward to the next chapter because we're going to join another veteran organization, which is called Combat Rush. You guys can go check them out, www.combatrush.com, and you can see what they're doing. They're out there getting veterans into dirt race cars, and you can check them out. Like Flow Racing is give them paid them some sponsorship opportunities with letting them lead the green or lead the late models and the modifieds at some of the tracks that they do and stuff like that. So go check out Combat Rush. Nate Barker is a really cool dude out there with a really big dream. He's a racer just like us, and he pulled himself out of his own race cars and decided to give veterans the opportunity. He's like a Rusty Wallace racing experience. So go check out www.combatrush.com, and they're looking for people to continue that and grow that strong. So that's going to be our next future project. So for now, we're going to celebrate the rest of this playoffs with Vet to Track and try to get them a championship and go out. And Alex, I'd like to thank my team: Ray Lane, Tay McDonald, B Rich, John Fike, Devin Hudgens, Terry Hudgens, Kyle Diaz, Hayden James, Todd James, my mom, Terry Tweet, V Speed, Racing Revolution, Chapman Environmental Services, Enginuity Power Systems, Buttkicker, Erhardt Homes, Love Where You Live, McDonald Lawn Care. If you live out west and you're in the Iowa area, go check out Tay McDonald with McDonald Lawn Care. Dude's been doing fabulous stuff out there, trying to earn his own living and be his own boss. So with that being said, I just appreciate everybody, and we're looking forward to continuing this vet to track run as it's going to be the end of our run with them, and hope to get some more wins and be in that final four.
Alrighty, Travis. Thank you so much for dropping by. Congrats on the podium finish, and we will catch you next week at New Hampshire.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you guys.
That was Travis Gilbert, our second place finisher here tonight, capping off a dream round of 16 there, Bradley.
Yeah, and based off of last week, he was 20 points above the cut line with his victory. So I don't know exactly how this is all going to play out, but he's in a great scenario here. Again, we're trying to get this all updated in real time, but it's Travis Gilbert and Carter Lentz who are guaranteed a spot in. I would most likely say, confidently, Jeremy Burns, Tyler Harrison, Dakota Floyd, Trevor Keith, Rob Rader, Matt Robinson's probably going to make it in. It's going to be tight here with Justin Ritchie. A little strange here with Nick Alves, Kevin Orlando, and Kyle Diaz, exactly how this is going to play out. You had Michael Reed, who was out. Brandon Richardson was in the race, but 44 out on that mark. Reed was in a pretty much must-win situation, got taken out. So it's a weird situation, but we have Justice Murphy, who we're going to pull into the broadcast booth. Podium finish for the number 12. And I got to ask your take on it. You got some right front damage there. What happened there between you and the 91 going into the final few laps of this race? What's your take on that?
Oh, God. I actually had to go back and watch it post-race because it looked really weird on my screen when it happened in the race. But it looked like he just kind of cleared late there. I was already throttled up and didn't have time to get off of it. So just kind of pushed him. His car got unsettled when that happened. And he went up into the fence, and from there, obviously, I didn't see him. I think the nose damage actually happened maybe a restart before that, when the 19 got in the wall down the back straightaway and couldn't get off, and I couldn't get left enough to miss his left rear and just clipped him.
Well, Justice, you were one of those drivers that's just here to shake things up. You just missed that cutoff line there for the final 16 at Daytona. The 12 team has been putting in a fight, though, all season. And now it seems like finally some podiums are coming your way.
Yeah, I thought I had a top 5 last week. Wasn't meant to be. It was about 7 to go there at Gateway. But running pretty good. The boys around me putting in work. Teammates Tyler, TK, Trevor, Erhardt, Parker, Daniel. Even Call's been in there. So just putting in a lot of work, getting a lot of different feedback. It really helps you kind of learn, grow, figure out what you got to do to get better. So these guys show up every week and do that. Proud of those guys. I think Tyler and TK are both advanced into the next round. So just trying to continue to push those guys to try to make it to Phoenix.
Well, then finally, like you said, you have people on your team that you got to keep motivated and help. And how much does that play a factor in maybe the way you approach these races going forward? As we go to New Hampshire next week, you're going to have a couple teammates that are you going to cut them any slack, or are you just going to race them as hard as you have all season?
Man, I hope TK's watching this, but after he told me I'm a lap down and got to race you hard here, I'm not giving him an inch at New Hampshire. It's already his favorite racetrack. I think a few years ago, Burns won there from like 5 laps down, and I think it was because all 5 cautions were from TK. So I'm gonna be on him, give him a lot of crap this week, but we're gonna work at it, and hopefully those guys can run up front. Continue to pile up points. For both of those guys, I think win capable speed most weeks. It's just about being in the right situations. A lot of strategy going into it, trying to get clean air at the right time. If you can get that break, kind of like we've seen the 22 was quick, both the first and second races around Darlington and Gateway, but a couple of unlucky cautions and then lucky ones that ended up flipping him back to the front. So you got to be on the right side of luck, right side of the cautions, and just in the right place at the right time.
Finally, Justice, it's been a minute here up in the broadcast booth, but you got all about bugs on the hood of that machine. Anybody else you want to shout out while we have you up in the broadcast booth?
Yeah, shout out to you guys week to week, getting in here and giving us a good broadcast to look out for. Shout out to the admin team. Shout out to all the league sponsors, Chapman Environmentals, Enginuity. Gosh, I can't even remember them all. Coastal Financial, Erhardt Homes. All About Bugs, of course, on the hood. Big shout out to you getting in here tonight, Bradley. I know you had some things going on, and hopefully that all gets straightened out for you. But kind of just shout out to all the teammates as well. I think I've already kind of listed all those guys, and got some new ones getting ready to come on next season. So excited to get there. Just keep pushing these last 7 races and see how far we can get.
When you go back and watch this, Justice, just know it's in the heat of the moment when we commentate, and don't take anything personally. It was just our instant take on what happened there. But, I've seen you've been racing here for 3 seasons now. Congrats on the top 3, and we will see you next week up in Loudon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, fellas.
Justice Murphy, 3rd place finisher. And that brings us to the tail end of our post-race coverage. Again, I got to thank you here, Alex. I know that you're ready to wrap this thing up. We had a lot to do in a short amount of time to do it, but you did a fantastic job. And I think you kind of progressively learned trial by fire. That's how it went. But you learned the cameras, you learned the buttons, and hey, man, I would trust you to watch any broadcast. I would put you on that pedestal. I think you did a fantastic job for your first one, and you learned a lot very quickly.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that immensely. Thank you. And to the folks at home, I hope you had a good time watching it. I had a great time trying to put this thing together. The first couple minutes, a little rough. Got a commercial break. I think once we got the paints figured out, then we were kind of smooth sailing for the rest of the way. That was kind of the big thing we needed to sort out at that commercial break. But it was fun, and next week we head off to the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, coming up next to kick off the round of 12. Should be a fun challenge for these guys.
Absolutely will be. You can catch that at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time here on V Speed. We will have flag-to-flag coverage all the way through the playoffs. We have more racing action to continue here with Goat Locker Racing and Saturday Night Racing League. We also will have a series coming back here very soon on Monday nights, so you can catch that here on V-Speed. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. But officially, I'm going to add your name. Let's see if I can get this right here, Alex. Appreciate you guys for Adam Baker and Alex Gagnon, our producer here tonight, our other producers and co-owners, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith. We also have Logan Threlkeld in that list, Lucas Lyons. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Bristol Motor Speedway. We will see you in 7 days for Racing Revolution in the Chapman Cup Series at New Hampshire. Stay tracking, everybody.